Sadhanapada has been the most incredible journey I went through in my life. In 7 months, my body, my mind, and my experience of life got completely transformed. But my Sadhanapada has also been full of mistakes and unknown challenges that I struggle with, and I wasn't the only one. Over the last 2 years that I spent living in the ashram, I have seen many people struggling with several aspects of the program, and some even abandoning Sadhanapada within the first months. So I thought to myself, if I could start over my Sadhanapada journey, knowing what I know today, how will I go about it? And that is why, in this video, I want to share with you 5 things I wish I knew before starting my Sadhanapada. Number 1, let go of your expectation about Sadhanapada. We all come to Sadhanapada with all kinds of different meanings and views around spirituality. We may have certain goals and expectations about what we should get from the program. And if I say the word ashram, chances are that each one of us will have various and different pictures about the same place. All these ideas have created a lot of confusion and resistance to countless participants, including me. Before entering the Isha Yoga Center for the first time, I was imagining a very slow pace of living, where everyone will be very calm and relaxed. A place where I will finally have the opportunity to be personally guided in my spiritual process. Well, the life in ashram was far from what I was expecting. During the day, the ashram was more looking like a beehive where people was coming and going from everywhere. In fact, thousands and thousands of people from all over the world are every day coming and living in this place. It sounds silly to me now, but back at that time, I was expecting people there to be in a kind of constant peaceful state, where everyone will be somehow far more spiritual advanced than I was. I was imagining people there will be beyond all the identification and ego traps that I was still in as a new seeker. But in reality, everybody was coming like me, with their own struggle, compulsion, and conditioning. And each and every person was at a complete and different stage in their spiritual process. Also, the rhythm of life there was very intense and tight from early morning to late nights. And everything was seemingly out of my control. I had to wake up when I'm told to, eat what and when I'm told to, work where and when I'm told to, and go to sleep when I'm told to. Coming from the West, where everything has to have a rational explanation, barely nothing that was happening around me was making any logical sense to my mind. And on top of that, I was not finding anywhere the spiritual guidance that I, since years, was desperately looking for. All my attempts to get any sort of advice or personal support by the monks present in the ashram was always answered by the same frustrating reply. Just do your sadhana. I just came all the way from the other side of the globe, waited for years to finally have the opportunity to attend Sadhanapada, washing dishes every day, being constantly told what to do or not to do, and not getting any individual consideration was not really the kind of guidance I was expecting. All this factor brought me into a deep inward confusion, and I even started questioning if all that was really meant for me. It took me some time to realize that the problem was not coming from this place or the program, but instead from myself. As soon as I dropped my expectation of how things should be and what I thought was needed for myself, I started experiencing the program in a whole different way. Not to say that I was suddenly free from all my personal desires and frustration, but becoming aware of the limits of my understanding and logical mind opened up for me a sense of surrendering that I never experienced before. After that, my Sadhanapada was not the same. Many of the resistance that I initially had was not there anymore. All these unexpected aspects that I was struggling with was actually challenging my own ego and conceptions that I had. And it is exactly what the ashram is made for. to offer us the opportunity to go beyond our own limitations and believe that we are strongly identified with. Not in the way that I had imagined it or would have wanted it to be, but in the way that was necessary for my own spiritual growth. So, you may have your own type of expectation about Sadhanapada and the ashram. Maybe your expectation or conception are even completely opposite to mine. But at the end of the day, it is all the same. It is only when we put ourselves aside that there is room for something bigger to happen. Number 2, do not compare yourself with others. Why I can't meditate? Look at this guy. He seems like experiencing a higher state of meditation. An ice cream or maybe a pizza. What am I missing? Okay, I just need to focus. And what about this one? He's meditating since 3 hours. How is he doing that? That's too much. What should I do? I think meditation is not for me. I need to talk to Sadhguru. You may face those type of mind game during the program. I myself went through some of it. During my own Sadhanapada, I was going through a roller coaster of all kinds of emotions, and nothing in particular seeming to be happening during my meditation. But all around me, I was witnessing all kinds of people seemingly going through intense and blissful states of meditation. So I naturally started thinking that I was maybe not going through the program the right way, or that something was not okay with me. But here's the truth that I was missing. There is not one single Sadhanapada program, but as many as the number of people going through it. As your process of life is unique to you, so will be your Sadhanapada journey. You will hear some people describing the program as the most beautiful experience they went through in their entire lifetime. For others, they may say it was the most painful thing that they had to go through. For some, Sadhanapada was a roller coaster of all kinds of emotion. And for others, it was feeling like nothing much was really happening within them. Personally, my Sadhanapada was a mix of all of these aspects. Each one of us are coming with a different background and unique experience of life, which means that what will be necessary in order for you to grow spiritually may be completely different or even looks opposite of what is needed for me. Realizing that aspect was a turning point in my Sadhanapada journey. I started noticing that all the energy before wasted into comparison was now refocused on myself. I was suddenly much more present and receptive to what Sadhanapada had to offer to me. So, whenever you find yourself confused or distracted by other experiences, try to remind yourself that we are all going through a unique and different journey of the same program. And between us, do we really have any idea of what others are really experiencing? Number 3, beware of your social interactions. One main aspect that will have a direct impact on how you experience the program is your social interaction. You will probably hear Sadhanapada team often reminding you to keep socializing to the minimum. And even if that may sound intrusive at first, having too much social interaction can indeed distract you from really experiencing Sadhanapada the best way. But in the middle of more than 1,000 other participants, all together going through activities, festivities, and sharing the same stay area, the task can be quite challenging. That is why I'm not gonna tell you to not make any friends or avoid all social interaction, but rather on how you can bypass certain common mistakes that I did and saw around me during my own Sadhanapada. The beginning of the program is always a confusing and disorienting stage, leading many of us to seek comfort in making new friendships and connections. But this first stage is also about laying down the right foundation for the journey that you are about to take on. First, establishing enough focus and discipline will allow you to not getting off track when the intensity will rise up. And believe me, it will. At the end of my Sadhanapada, I remember people expressing regret on how they had wasted the first part of the program, spending too much time and energy into social interaction. Now, hear me out. I'm not trying to say that making new relationship is bad. I have myself met wonderful people in ashram that are still, right now, very dear to me. But if you are here to experience what really Sadhanapada is about, there must be a price. And this price is investing nothing less than all the energy that you have and are willing to give. This may indeed involve making some sacrifices, but if going for Sadhanapada is a serious step taken in your life, keeping your interaction at the minimum will give you the best chance to fully experience the program. So, whenever you feel like you are getting pulled into any kind of interactions that are not conducive for you and your Sadhanapada journey, try to remind yourself why you first came. For many of us, going for Sadhanapada is a significant decision taken in our life, involving all kinds of different sacrifices. Whether you are leaving your family behind or putting your career on pause, the steps that you made is big. The simple act of reminding yourself why you first came will help you in making better decisions in your interaction during the program. Now that we have seen how we can be more careful in our relationship with others, let's talk about another trap, one that I personally fell into. In the beginning of my Sadhanapada, I was judging any sort of contact with others as simply unnecessary distraction, and every person who was coming to me was regarded as a threat. My goal was to experience Sadhanapada to the fullest potential, and for that, I had to stay by myself. At least, that's what I thought. Staying away from others became a full-time job, requiring a lot of my energy. And after weeks of attempting to avoid any sort of interaction by all means, I started realizing my mistakes. Intentionally avoiding others had just took me the same amount of energy as the opposite behavior that I was judging as a distraction. Isolating myself was in reality coming from my own fear of not being able to protect myself from external influences. But I realized that at the end of the day, people are only taking the space that we allow them to take in our life. It was my own responsibility to find and decide the right amount of space that I wanted to give to the people around me. So, whether you go to one extreme or the other, figuring out the right balance in your social interaction will be a key in keeping you on track during your Sadhanapada. Number 4. Get used to sitting in Ardha Siddhasana. One main aspect of living in ashram is that you'll be sitting in a cross-legged posture most of the time, and especially during your Sadhanapada. In your case, it will be during meetings, your seva, which is your activity, and also, of course, your meditation times. And if you are someone like me who hasn't grown up sitting on the floor, preparing your body before coming to Sadhanapada is gonna save you a lot of pain and struggle that I personally went through. So what you can first do is to start sitting in a cross-legged posture every time you have the opportunity. It can be while quite doing everything, like working on your laptop or simply just reading a book. The goal is to slowly replace as far as possible moments when you are sitting on a chair by sitting on the floor. One thing that you always want to keep in mind while sitting in Ardha Siddhasana is to keep your back straight. So every time you catch yourself leaning forward, just be aware of it and bring your back straight again. Keep in mind that maintaining an erect posture may take some time, and especially if you are new to sitting on the floor. But within few weeks of practices, your muscle and joint will slowly adapt, and you will be more and more comfortable to sit with a straight back. Including that aspect to your day-to-day life will allow you to start your Sadhanapada journey the best possible way. While going through the program, I was in the beginning not able to sit for a long period of time because of a knee injury. And if you are in a similar situation that I was, you know the deep frustration that it is when you can't sit for more than 10 minutes without experiencing severe pain. But after months of practices, I was slowly starting to sit for more and more longer period of time. And at the end of my Sadhanapada, I was, to my big surprise, finally able to sit comfortable for more than an hour. So, whatever your situation may be, try to be patient and compassionate towards your body, and you'll see that slowly you'll be able to sit for more longer period of time. Number 5. If you didn't get selected for Sadhanapada. Perhaps you really wanted to attend Sadhanapada, but your current situation didn't allow it. Or maybe your application got rejected, or you may simply have missed the registration deadline. There could be multiple reasons why you are not able to attend Sadhanapada this time. And some of you may even be considering giving up on the idea, thinking that it may not be meant for you. But let me tell you why you may be wrong, in sharing with you my own story. For that, we have to go back in time to 2019, when I first applied to Sadhanapada. Back at that time, I was pursuing a modeling career and was studying in an acting school in Paris. But my life took a complete unexpected turn when I first ran into a video of Sadhguru. It will be difficult to express in words the impact he had on me, but I'm sure that many of you will somehow know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the day I found out about Sadhanapada, I knew deep inside that I had to go for it. Within a week, I left the agency I was signed on to. I left my acting school, sold my car. I decided to leave everything behind and started planning my departure to the Isha Yoga Center. I couldn't provide any rational explanation to the people around me for why I was suddenly quitting all the things that I had worked very hard to attain. Yet, I had never been more sure of the decision I was making in my entire life. At that point, nothing could have stopped me from going to the ashram. But just 2 days before my departure date, all of a sudden, the world was completely shut down, and my plan to go for Sadhanapada had disappeared with it. Having left my apartment, my school, and even my job, I had no choice but to go back to my parents' place and wait for the opportunity to be able to hopefully one day fly to India. Experiencing this deep and burning longing, but at the same time being held back, not knowing when or if I will ever be able to go, was a very painful feeling. I felt like I was in some kind of limbo during this time, where nothing around me held any of my interest. My only thoughts and energy was towards going to the ashram, and I was getting more and more overwhelmed by the feeling of fear and desperation that I may never actually get the chance to go. It wasn't until almost 2 years later that the Indian border opened up, and I was finally able to reach the ashram. Now, if you are in a similar situation, where the only available option for you is waiting, I'm not the right person to tell you to not feel disappointed or frustrated. But there is something I can share with you that could maybe help you to make the best use of this situation. At first glance, this period of waiting that I went through felt extremely painful and never-ending. However, it is only after the end of my Sadhanapada that I realized that it was actually one of the most defining elements of how I experienced and was touched by the program. Being consumed by this burning longing to go wasn't enough. I needed to first ground myself into my sadhana and this new path that I was taking. And it is exactly what this span of time gave me the opportunity to do. With no other option but to wait, I developed this period to my sadhana and developed a disciplined lifestyle that I initially didn't have. If I have understood one thing from this experience, it is that entering a spiritual process is not to be taken lightly. Developing enough focus, maturity, and discipline before going any deeper is, I think, the most important aspect. I can tell what would have been my experience of the program without a span of preparation. But what I can say is that I began Sadhanapada with stronger foundation and more stability than I would have ever been able before. Having a certain amount of time in your hands before starting Sadhanapada can be a tremendous opportunity for you to settle and organize your life as best as you can. So that when the time comes, you are in the right condition to start and experience your Sadhanapada journey to the fullest. So, whatever the reason why you can't this time attend this program, if you are right now struggling to accept the situation, or even thinking of giving up on the idea of Sadhanapada, just try to take a step back and see how this can, in reality, also be a blessing in disguise. Because life is maybe just giving you the situations that you need, and not what you want. Thank you to have watched this video. I hope that I have succeeded in helping you feel more ready than ever to start your Sadhanapada journey in the best possible way. And for those of you who made it to this point, I have something more for you, including all the learning lessons and teaching gathered throughout my 2 years of living inside the ashram in just one video was in fact quite not possible. That is why I have created for you a free ebook where you can find more exclusive tips and information about Sadhanapada and the ashram. You can find the link of the ebook just below into the description. If you got any value from this video, please consider share, like and subscribe to the channel. I've been working very hard on new things that are coming soon. So make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Oh, and by the way, if you already done Sadhanapada, just let me know in the comment section how was your experience of the program. Until then, I see you soon.